We see a lot of I guess humor derived from cross-cultural exchanges where something is perhaps lost in translation. But I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed about some of your videos is the tendency to really explore sort of the intersections of those misunderstandings. And I was wondering if you could perhaps talk about being an Englishee teacher in Korea.
Sure. It's a lot of fun, and one of the things I really enjoy about is I've had the pleasure of learning many languages over the years. I grew up in the south of the United States, so I learned Spanish, and it was very difficult to learn that language. And as I started traveling abroad, I started picking up other languages. So I have a great respect for the students that learn here, and the mastery that they have far exceeds my mastery of Korean. And what I've done is really try to understand their language and their culture. So when they make some errors in their pronunciation or something in class, it really helps me find a way to better correct them. And two of the most common mistakes that Koreans say when they pronounce English words is they usually add a vowel to the end of a word. So nice becomes nice, or cast beer becomes kesa, or English becomes Englishee. And it really comes about from the way that Hangul is derived, and that you have to have a consonant and a vowel at the same time in each syllable. You just can't have a consonant like you can have in English. And having that understanding really helps me explain why the two languages are different. Now, sometimes an English teacher comes to Korea and never takes the time to learn Hangul, so they interpret it as, well, these kids just are lazy. They don't take the time to study and learn how to pronounce English words. And it's not so much that they're doing that; it's just that you have a phenomenon in ESL or language education called L1 and L2, where L1 is your predominantly first language and L2 is your second language, where you can be studying your second language, but you automatically drop back into your first one. And my favorite example from my personal experience is I was learning Indonesian, and I started counting from 1 to 10, and around 5 I dropped back into Spanish, even though that's not my first language. But I didn't even realize it until my instructor said, "Oh, you're not using Indonesian anymore." I'm like, "Oh." It was quite funny.